Okay, so you're trying to put together your own syndication and recruit investors to be able to get into that bigger piece of property that you've been looking for. So in our vernacular, we call you a syndication deal maker, right? Or an operator. And there's a couple of things that you need to know about as an operator with how are you going to structure this new fund or these new investments that you're getting into. So let me show you a little bit more about that. When you're a deal maker and operator, with any of these syndication investments, the first thing you need to do is form an LLC that this is going to hold all of your cash. This is where you're going to end up doing all of your fundraising through, and that's going to have all of the GP and LP interest laid out inside of this LLC. Now, there's a lot of considerations that you need to have here, which is the type of money that you're going to raise, because that'll be being able to tell you about what private placement memorandums or other types of documentation that you're going to need when doing that fundraising. Pro tip on that is if you just go for accredited investors, your life is way easier. So if this is your first deal, look into that and form one LLC and just raise money from accredited investors. So let's go ahead and just assume that you've been able to do a great job of raising the money from your friends, family, and other people that you've done deals with in the past, and you have this now all located inside of the LLC that you formed, and you have all the appropriate operating agreements that are all compliant with the Securities and Exchange Commissions. Probably have a lawyer look over this to make sure that the SEC compliance is done correctly. Now you have all the cash, so it's time to be able to deploy it. So what are you going to do? What you're going to do is you're going to form an LLC. Likely this LLC is going to be located in the state where the asset is located, or it's going to be formed in Delaware and then registered in the state where you're going to be holding the asset. This determination is completely made by the financing institution. So the way this game is played is that you go to the financing, you find your best financing, and then we jump through all the hoops to be able to qualify for the best financing that we can get. And it kind of shakes out one or two different ways with that. And one way or another, though, you're going to end up forming an LLC, and this LLC is going to be what's called a single purpose entity, or an SPE. And what that means is it's just going to do one thing. That's just going to hold this, whatever this asset is going to be. So your money flows from your principal fundraising LLC into your asset holding LLC. Your asset holding LLC will then purchase the asset and do all the financing for it on your behalf. Now the cash that comes out of this property flows back up to your financing LLC. Remember, these are all pass-through tax treatment types of entities, and this is then when you pay out to your GP interest, which is going to be your interest, and your LP interest, which is going to be all of your investors. And then this will be actually notated as K1s that you'll end up doing once a year for that. And that's how you end up starting a syndication company. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, subscribe to our channel for tons of content that's just like this. We also have a blog at royallegalsolutions.com. I host the REI Nerds podcast, which is me and my real estate investor friends who are CPAs, attorneys, and professional deal makers. We geek out and get into the nitty-gritty of the real estate investment deals that we invest in. We're gonna give you all of that behind the scenes, deep knowledge from these professionals inside of that podcast. We also feature it on our website, and we're throwing up a lot of great videos all the time right here on our YouTube channel. Go ahead, subscribe today, come to the website, get the best information, make better deals.